investments in the finance and real estate sectors of Uganda's economy, which included the investment he made in the Tropical Bank of Africa, National Housing Corporation, Lake Victoria Hotel, and so many other companies. One other fact you have to note is that through Museveni, Gaddafi also funded the RPF rebels after they invaded Rwanda in 1980. The support he gave them included arms that were flown into Uganda by the Museveni regime. That is how deep their friendship was, which is what made the betrayal even more painful. Let us also take a look at Gaddafi's interest in the Turo kingdom. Muhammad Gaddafi developed an interest in this kingdom, located within the borders of Uganda in 2001. At this time, its ruler, King Oyo Nyimba, was just 9 years old. Because of his extreme love for this kingdom, Muhammad Gaddafi financed the majority of the projects there, including the construction of the Turo Palace. Gaddafi left a lasting legacy in the Ugandan Muslim community. He contributed voluminously to the construction of the magnificent mosque there, which has a capacity of holding at least 3,000 faithful. This mosque is the second largest in Eastern Africa. Gaddafi even joked with Museveni, asking him to rule for life during his visits to Uganda. He went further, asking him why he even bothered going for elections. On one of his visits there, he promoted one of Museveni's sons in the military from captain to major. In the 2001 and 2006 presidential elections, Gaddafi supported Museveni to carry out his campaigns. Their relationship seemed so strong and unbreakable, but that was not the case till the end. What actually prompted Museveni to pull down Gaddafi? We shall examine this in two main parts, which are Western interests and Muhammad Gaddafi's ambitions. As you might already know, Muhammad Gaddafi is the highest person talked about each time the idea of a United States of Africa has been raised.
His ideas for African unity involve the creation of a United States of Africa.
Just like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. Gaddafi poured a lot of effort into the quest for African unity. During a summit held in 1989, Gaddafi succeeded to convince 45 heads of state to approve the creation of an African Union, which replaced the Organization of African Union. For more than 10 years after this, Gaddafi stood as the most popular advocate for this union. Still, in 1989, he came up with the idea of the United States of Africa, which he envisaged will have a single currency and military. The African Union, according to him, was to be used as a facilitator for this dream of his. Roughly 15% of the money used to finance projects of the African Union came from Libya during Gaddafi's reign. This, however, was a scary idea to Western powers and some African leaders who thought this will distort their prestige, influence, and position in the continent. The idea brought division among African leaders on the matter. Surprisingly, Yoweri Museveni was also against this idea. Museveni was a man that Gaddafi had helped a lot in the past and even made him gain much power in Uganda. He had invested a lot in his country and backed him in times of need. Why did Museveni disagree with Gaddafi's idea of creating the United States of Africa? First, it was a threat to his grip on power in Uganda.
So I'm aware of Mr. Gaddafi's approaches and efforts to get a foothold in your part of Africa and all. And I just like to intervene and caution.
He appreciated Gaddafi's take in a flattery manner, but did not actually fight for the course. He refused to be ruled by another leader. It will either be him or no one else. Secondly, Museveni's power was becoming much felt in the region, and in this position, he served the interest of the West through military actions in countries like Somalia. He also provided intellectual support to the CIA leaders.
Mr. President, I started fighting Gaddafi before you started. What? I started fighting Gaddafi before you started.
With this, he prioritized the interest of the West before those of his African compatriots. When this decision was finally